Scott writes, am I the asshole? So I don't know about that, but I do know that you are in your uncertainty, because it's like you're not knowing where you stand and you're seeking to know where you stand. When you act in your uncertainty, you're not being certain. When you're not certain, it's not like you're decisive, that you're confident. A lot of that confidence comes from conveying that sense of certainty. And so it's like if you're in your uncertainty, don't know where you stand, and then you're basically conveying this to your partner, who's in her feminine. It's just going to be like you're in your feminine and she's in her feminine. At least you're acting in ways that are uncertain, aren't necessarily in your masculine. With the polarity, it's just going to basically repel each other, and she's not going to be attracted to you. In this post, he says, am I the asshole for expecting my wife to clean the house on her days off? I work about 40 to 60 hours a week and pay 95% of the bills, and I'm paying off her student loan as she is still in college. She works 20 to 30 hours a week, and I've asked her multiple times to help keep the house clean. When I come home after a hard day and the house is dirty, I clean it, but then I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the night. Okay, that's not going to communicate strength as well. So like if you're pouting, and so you've got two strikes on you right now that aren't really communicating that you're in your masculine energy, that you're in your certainty. I don't care how much you're working. I don't care how tough it is. I don't how, like logically you're paying all the bills. So therefore it's like, it doesn't work that way. It's like, if you come home, even though you worked your ass off and you're providing great for the family, it's like if you come home in a state that's not like you're strong, and then you don't see like value in yourself, almost like if I do enough for you, then it should be reciprocated, and it's not reciprocated, so I'm going to get upset. Then that's not going to turn her on towards you. She is all the time saying, "Oh, I was going to do that," and saying that I'm not considering that she was in pain, as she is 5 months pregnant. It's tough to know specifically if this is the right situation. I'll continue. Let's see. But the way I see it, all of the indoor chores only take at most 30 minutes, and she could split that up over the whole day. So am I the asshole? Don't worry about that. Okay, so don't worry about you hurting her feelings or whatever. It's like if it supports the mission, it's like, well, you can say that. You can say that, hey, well, it takes 30 minutes. You're home all day, and it's like, well, you can just split it up. So it's like, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like it really needs to happen in order for the dynamic to really work well between us. And not basically shy away if she says, well, you're trying to hurt me or you're trying this, because it's like I'm in pain and you don't get it. And you're like, well, I recognize that. But I also recognize that it could have taken you 30 minutes and it's not done. And, whatever. But it's just like you can stay strong in what the tasks are for the both of you. And it's just like if she tries to basically jerk you around and just have you do her tasks, it's like, well, that's not really acceptable. So define what tasks you have as far as your partners and what you're going to do around the house. And if the other person doesn't do that, then hold them accountable. And don't be worried about being an asshole or whatever. Too many guys get caught up in that trap that she'll have some emotional reaction and he'll be all afraid to basically enforce, the rules or what's going on, or like chores that need to be done, because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. And when he does that and just totally caves, it's like she doesn't respect him as much. And then there's just like this dynamic that's really unhealthy in a relationship. And know that if you can basically, defend yourself and stick up for yourself and stick up for, the chores and stuff that you define for each other, then what it's going to do is it's going to make her feel like you can resist her, that you are strong, even though she might have an emotional reaction initially. Over time, she's going to basically recognize that, hey, this guy's strong. I can't really get my way with him. He knows what works, and I'm just going to basically follow him in that, because it's like I trust him, and I feel safe that he can defend himself and defend basically the rules in this family. And when that's the case, it's like I just feel more comfortable. I feel more safe and secure, and I can respect him more when I feel those things. Compared to a guy that says, maybe so the two of them sit down, they create some chores, create some basically expectations for what each of them will do as far as helping out in the house. And then she doesn't do anything. He comes home, and then he gets basically stuck with her job. Now he's working. Now he's taking care of the house. Now she's not doing anything. And he doesn't basically say anything, or he doesn't basically tell her, hey, what's up with this? It's like, you didn't do any of the chores, and we said we agreed to it. When he doesn't basically respect those things and respect his own word and hold you accountable to your word, it's like, well, she's just going to walk all over him. She can do whatever she wants, and she's going to treat him like a doormat, and he's not going to defend himself. And that's just going to basically create a relationship where she doesn't respect him. And when there's no respect, especially when a guy doesn't feel like he's respected in a relationship, it's like that's one of the most negative things that can happen. So, I mean, there's really an importance to being assertive in a relationship. And from this guy's perspective, it's like he's got to drop this thing of worrying about where he stands, or worrying if he's hurting her feelings, or worrying if he's like an asshole or not, and that's so bad that he couldn't possibly be an asshole, and so he couldn't like conceptualize that, so he'll just basically do all her chores and she can do nothing or whatever. And I recognize the situation might be different. I mean, she's pregnant. I mean, for sure there's a lot to that, but still, it's like you can't just basically cave and be a doormat in a relationship.